Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a great day. Happy Sunday to all of you. And thank you for joining me again. I feel very blessed to, be here to present to you guys the update for Nigerian Spiders. And there's been a lot going on. First of all, let's start with the hot topic regarding our Nigerian Spiders head coach. Of course, we are still waiting for NFF and the technical committee to officially announce the name of the coach that they've selected. They've had a few meetings, quite a few meetings, I think one or two of them, but they've not been able to decide the person. And of course, we know the shortlisted people: Emmanuel Munike, Thomas Torrance, Mike Ensiang, and Konsenka. These are some of the coaches that have made the final list, but we've not heard anything yet as to who they've selected. Meanwhile, I mentioned in the last video that the Minister of Sports and Development, Senator John Eno, has now given NFF ultimatum to actually bring out the name of the head coach within a week, highest 2 weeks. That's the deadline, and NFF are not going to go against this, because it's such a huge authority. But in this video, I have a few updates that are also related to the issue. And first things first, we're going to talk about Ekong, and what is now said about this whole coach selection, in terms of whether he prefers foreign-based coach or home-based coach. Ekong has now said that, he would go for, or that he thinks, that the ideal coach for Nigerian Spiders is the local coach. Of course, Ekong talks about, things like, the local coach being in a better position to actually understand the team, understand the culture of the country, also having played at the AFCON, maybe won it, and known the experience in the competition itself. Of course, these are some of the reasons that Ekong gave us to why he would prefer that NFF go on and appoint a local coach. Ekong was one of the guys that wanted coach Jose Posoro to stay when his contract was about expiring. He obviously even had a conversation with Jose Posoro, urging him to stay. But again, Posoro, after everything, decided not to stay. But this time around, Ekong seems to not want a foreign coach. He wants a local coach. Based on this ground, even give example of a couple of countries in Africa that are doing well with home-based coaches, the likes of Ivory Coast, who actually sacked their foreign coach to employ a local coach and then go on to win the competition, the last time ahead of Nigeria. And then he talked about Senegal, and the list goes on and on. But in summary, Ekong wants a home-based coach, which means that he is rooting for Amunike to come up top. And of course, the last video I talked about how Amunike has now resurfaced as the likely candidate for NFF to appoint as the new head coach. And the reason, financial difficulty that NFF has now seemed to face. Ekong actually revealed this in Segun Odegbami's radio station, which is at the Eagles 103.7 FM. That was, where he gave out this interview to the legend himself, Segun Odegbami. Segun Odegbami obviously also has had his opinion to talk about, what's the current issue. And what he's now said is that, the only reason why NFF would want to employ a foreign-based coach is for the reason of corruption, for the reason of racketeering. That's his word. And he believes that the NFF doesn't exactly have the funds right now to try and employ a foreign-based coach, because if you want to employ a foreign-based coach, you're going to have at least, as a budget, $50,000 a month to pay them, which is like the bare minimum. And Odegbami believes that NFF doesn't have this kind of amount, and that's part of the reason why they are considering, or they are stuck with employing a home-based coach, even though most of the committee, or majority of them, do not want to employ a local coach. In summary, Segun Odegbami believes that lack of fund might actually make NFF to settle for a local coach instead of foreign coach. Of course, we've mentioned in the previous video that Segun Odegbami is a huge fan of local coach. He believes that Nigeria or NFF should go for a coach that understands the culture, has played in the team before, knows at stake, and also how to go on and fix it. But aside from this issue, Siasia has also jumped in this situation. And what Siasia has to say is a complete criticism of the NFF, and this time it's in terms of the salary payment for home-based and local coaches. Siasia, obviously talked to the media where he hits out at NFF for looking down on Nigerian coaches or local coaches. Siasia actually said that NFF are turning Nigerian coaches, into slaves by not paying them enough. He says that whenever they want to employ a Nigerian coach or a home-based coach, they would pay them a salary, or they would offer them a salary of 1 million naira a month wages or salary. But once they have to deal with a foreign coach, once they employ a foreign coach, they are tabling $50,000, which is up to 75 or more million naira, at least to them. Some collect as much as 60, 80, 100, 120%, are actually demanded for 120. But again, Siasia is completely mad about this situation, and he feels that it's not right that NFF, is doing this to Nigerian coaches, paying them less, way less, maybe like, 10% of what they're paying a foreign coach. He believes that that's the reason why, sometimes some of these local coaches become corrupt and start, doing things outside what the lines or outside what's right, just to, balance up. Move forward and let you know that Gabriel Osho, the Nigerian eligible defender, is now a subject of transfer interest to Tottenham Hotspur. Of course, we talked about that in the last video, that Tottenham Hotspur are in dire need of defenders. And the last time we talked about Tosin and Aribo actually being linked to Tottenham as one of the clubs that are interested in signing him from Fulham when his contract expires this June. But again, they've now shortlisted another Nigerian Super Eagles players, Gab Osho, as a potential, backup plan for their defensive issue. Gab Osho, of course, is still recovering from injury, hasn't made an appearance for Luton in a while, and also, his dream of actually representing Nigeria in the last two friendlies was cut short by that injury, but he's recovering really well because, he might not ply his trade in Luton Town next season if this deal goes through. Last gist for this video, let me let you know that Joe Aribo was in shining lights over the weekend as his club side, Southampton, actually played out a 2-1 defeat to Cardiff. Aribo was really excellent in that game, I thought, because he inspired them with an early goal. He actually scored in the, I think, around 12 minutes of the game. But Southampton were unable to protect the lead to get them all 3 points as they fell later in the second half to 2 goals from Cardiff. But Aribo was such a good performer on that day, actually making 73 appearances, had 1 goal, as I said, and of course had 3 shots. But again, it was such a painful defeat, especially coming from the fact that he could have won them the game, and that would have really improved their situation on the table, because they're currently in 4th position. They would have loved to get up there maybe with Leeds and Ipswich, but now they're in a very dire situation, and qualification seems unlikely, except they have to improve on their games and start winning the last couple of matches that's remaining. But we wish Aribo all the best, and his team. But that's the video for this. But that's the update for this video. Thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate all of you. Stay tuned to the channel for more updates.